Hello, Covington County. Welcome to Good News Covington County with Brother John and Cousin Jared today. The production team and the talent team. Well, lack of talent on my part. We're so glad to have you with us here, all of Covington County. I don't care if you're in Sanford or Opp, if you're in Pleasant Home or Carolina, Cohasset, Loango, Red Level, Gant, Heath, Strawn, and all points in between, even Rose Hill. We're glad to have you here with us today. On Friday the 13th, Black Cat Day, some people call it. An unlucky day on other people's name. We're going to talk about that some as a part of the show today because there's an interesting number of things, and I've gathered statistics for you about that. But I'll start out by saying that Friday the 13th is often considered to be an unlucky day because that was the day that the Knights Templars in 1307, who were their world's original bankers, were arrested, put in prison by the French monarchy. Mr. de Molay, who was their, Guy de Molay, who was their leader, was executed on this day. So if you are a Knights Templar, and there are not many of them around that I know of, it's definitely an unlucky day for you. But it's a lucky day for us because we've got a great show. We've got some good interviews. We've got some footage of the Blue Ribbon Day that was held on the square today. We're going to have all kinds of things to keep you interested, and it's all about what happened here in Covington County. I'd like to start out with some real good news today, and it's Savannah Terrace has elected their 2018, Andalusia Manor rather, has elected their 2018 Miss Andalusia Manor. And we're glad to share the news that Miss Margaret Morris was named Miss 2018 Andalusia Manor. Her second runner-up was Miss Lula Curvin, and her first runner-up was Miss Virginia Huggins. Was Miss Linda Sessions was the second runner-up, and Lula Curvin was the first runner-up, Virginia Huggins was the master of ceremonies for that. If you have the Andalusia Star News, you'll see this on the front page. If you don't, go buy one. 50 cents, and you'll get to see some beautiful ladies in a wonderful setting at Andalusia Manor. Also today, as we report mostly from the Andalusia Star News, as we know, this is Blue Ribbon. I'm just going crazy on here. The Relay for Life Week. I had the Blue Ribbon event confused with, I apologize. Relay for Life Week. That's a local fundraiser that people from all over the county, but particularly in the Andalusia area, Red Level and Opp, work toward raising funds for cancer awareness and people that suffer from traumatic diseases in this area. We have a couple of stories about that today that we want to get into. But the Relay for Life is their big fundraiser. And the Relay for Life starts tomorrow at the Kiwanis Building. Preparatory to these events, the Andalusia Star News has shared 5 stories through the week about people that are cancer survivors, people that the Relay for Life funding has helped. Today, the story is about a young lady named Sharon Kinsall. She works at Andalusia Health. Her husband's works at the high school in Opp. They're just good people, the salt of the earth. Sharon found out that she had cancer kind of by accident. She thought she was having a stomach problem that wouldn't go away. One day, Dr. Raina Burke, who works over at Andalusia Health, engaged her in a conversation and inquired about how she was doing. She recalled, as she says in the article, I told him I was concerned that I was losing weight, but I was still bloated. He said, Dr. Burke said, let's do some more testing, and they did. The testing pointed to a problem with ovarian cancer. Dr. Tim Day, who's a doctor here at Andalusia Health, did a paracentesis on her to extract fluid, and they found out that of her abdominal contents in that area They found out that there probably was an ovarian cancer there. She was referred to Dr. Mark Boatwright, a 21st century oncologist, which has an office here on the Andalusia Health campus, and to Dr. Rodney Riccone, who is a gynecologic oncologist in Mobile, and she got some of the best treatment in the world. She needed chemotherapy. Over the course of the year, she had 11 cycles of chemotherapy. And in February, after a full body PET scan, she was told there was no evidence of the disease. Isn't that a wonderful outcome? All because she got on it early. She, in her statements, I want to read directly what she said here. Kinsall said it is important for patients to take responsibility for their health and treatment plans. When you have symptoms, take it one step further, she said. After I was identified as a person with ovarian cancer, I asked for genetic testing. My genetic test was positive. So my chances of developing ovarian cancer and breast cancer were high risk. Kinsall's grandmother, in fact, died of ovarian cancer. Kinsall went on to talk about the support center, the support that she received from our community and from her church, and it's a wonderful story. I don't have the time to share it all, but please take an opportunity to read about a success story in the fight against cancer. We're going to take a break and be back in just a minute. Welcome back to Good News Covington County. I told Jared today I wanted to get a headset and a cap on and have a chicken in the background so I could look like the guy from Hee Haw when I did these broadcasts. I think I'd probably be a lot more at home. But I do have the overalls, Jared. Another article at the Andalusia paper was about the Relay for Life, which we just discussed a few minutes ago about a wonderful lady, Miss Sharon Kinsall, and what she went through to finally beat ovarian cancer. There's another article that refers to this by Lacey Stinson. Covington County Relay for Life, the annual event, actually, this is last night or today is the day where what they call bank night. Now they have 8 teams that participate in the Relay for Life, and last night was what they call bank night. That's where they get together and they accumulate all of the pledges that they've got thus far, the promises for payment. The relay coordinator, Randy Bozeman, said that last night, by their count, they had raised nearly $50,000. Now that's almost what we know they'll be able to contribute. It's been a tough fundraising season for them because of rain that has impeded many of the events that support it. $50,000. There'll be last minute donations, and we would encourage you, if you haven't donated, to take the time and spend a little bit of money to give to this very worthwhile cause. They're going to have a lot going on out at the Kiwanis Fairgrounds Center this weekend. They're going to have a raffle for a grill out there. They're going to have raffles for other things and different events. There'll even be some live entertainment this year, a scavenger hunt, and a passport game to pass along the Relaying Around the World theme. And that is the theme this year, Relaying Around the World. Please participate in that. Go out there Saturday. It is a big event. It's a big deal for Covington County. So glad that we have the ability to participate in something like that. Now, I told you it was Friday the 13th. Here's a good news, bad news story. April 15th is usually the day that we have to turn in our tax returns. Even if you don't send them money, you need to turn in your tax return or file for an extension. I know people that haven't completed their tax returns that have sent them money because we have Dennis Meeks on here today, and you think I'm scared of law enforcement? I'm terrified of the IRS. And tax day is April 15th normally. This year it's a little bit different. If you haven't got your taxes done, there's a lot of really good places around here you can get them done. I'd suggest that you go there and get it done now. Now, here's the deal. We have a little extra time this year. We have until April 17th for a couple of reasons. One of them is that April 15th falls on a Sunday. And the other one is that the day after Sunday is a holiday. So if you can have your income tax done completed and reported by midnight on April 17th, that's a Tuesday, you'll be under the deadline. If you can't do that and you haven't done that, you might be in trouble. The return has to be postmarked Tuesday, April 17th. And according to this, for locals, that means having the returns at the post office before 5 p.m., not midnight like I said earlier. So it's time for somebody to burn some midnight oil and get the taxes ready. I forgot I've got to go home and tell my son, I know you just got out of the Army, but your taxes are still due. Now we're going to stop after that traumatic news and we're going to take a break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the Black Cat edition of Good News Covington County, Friday the 13th, April the 13th. Friday the 13th comes about twice a year. I think about every 38 years or so we have 3 Friday the 13th during the year. It's traditionally been considered a day of bad luck. Well, so far so good. We haven't had any, and I hope you don't either. But I thought I'd share a little bit of information from my research on Friday the 13th. It's long been regarded as an unlucky day. And why do we choose this day to label it as unlucky? I don't know. There's a lot of superstitions that go back to the Middle Ages, and some of them maybe even have biblical origins. Some people claim that it was on Friday the 13th when Eve bit the apple. I don't think so. I don't think Adam and Eve were looking at a calendar at that time. But that just goes to show how rumors get started. The New Testament, many believe that there were 13 people present for Jesus' Last Supper, and that was the reason for his unluckiness. On Monday, Thursday, the day before his crucifixion on Good Friday. Geoffrey Chaucer, who those of us that were lucky enough to have Pat Seymour and the Simmons sisters wrote Canterbury Tales while we were in high school, made reference to the day of apparent unluckiness in this form, recording in his Canterbury Tales that it was bad luck to start a journey on Friday. And I will tell you how important this is. My dad built houses, and he would not start a house, not even dig a hole for a foundation or set a batter-board on Friday the 13th. He'd rather wait till Monday when it was raining and do it on Friday the 13th if the weather was good, rather than start out a project on Friday. So the superstition lives on. Now for a little bit more news about Andalusia and Covington County. Andalusia Health has a thing called their Mercy Award. The Mercy Award was created by the people LifePoint that own Andalusia Health in memory of a gentleman named Scott Mercy, very appropriately named, that was the founding chairman and chief executive officer of LifePoint. It's considered the highest award anybody in the company can receive as a LifePoint employee. And this year's 2018 recipient is a young lady named Donna Yates. She's the 2018 Mercy Award winner. She's been with the hospital for a long time. This award is awarded in each LifePoint hospital, and it's given to the person who most profoundly touches the lives of others and at best represents the goals and aspirations and the model that LifePoint would have in their people. She's been working there for 22 years and all kind of different offices. She's now in health management information, and her Andalusia Health experience started when she was in high school. Her supervisor says that she has continually proved herself to demonstrate her loyalty to Andalusia Health and the people within her profession. Congratulations to Donna Yates at Andalusia Health and as a part of the LifePoint family. I'd like to point out this is not in the article, but Donna Yates' name and her attributes will be entered into another pool of people from all the hospitals in Life Points Network to receive the annual Scott Mercy Award. So that's a great accolade for her. We've actually had one winner of that national award from here in Andalusia, and just, you know, we're so fortunate we've got good people out there. And the last winner was Miss Heidi Martin, who's worked as a nurse out there for a number of years. She was the national designee for the Scott Mercy Award as well. Now on to the weather for Covington County. Our weather for today is, if you hadn't figured it out, we're going to have a sunny day today. And it's going to be pretty nice all day. It may get up to about 84, 85, and tonight it's going to drop down to around 66 degrees when it's going to be about 10 miles an hour. Saturday might be a different thing. While it looks like we'll have a calm night and maybe a calm morning, I was looking at the weather map this morning early at dark 30, and it looks like there's a mess of storms to the west of us in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee. And guess where our weather comes from? It comes from the west. There are going to be the possibility of high winds, thunderstorms, that kind of thing on Saturday, maybe trending even until Sunday morning. So if you got yard work, today'd be the day to get it done, because I'm thinking you're going to get to spend Saturday and part of Sunday inside. I hope that weather kind of misses us, but it looks like it's going to probably going to hit us. The National Weather Service in Mobile said environmental conditions are looking favorable for damaging winds, which are 60 miles or more or greater, and the possibility of a brief tornado or two, with possible timing for a severe threat of rain and heavy rain throughout the day, a possibility of flooding. And that's our weather. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the final segment of Friday the 13th, Good News, Covington County. Jared and I were talking about Friday the 13th just a minute ago and the way it impacts business. Just as an aside, today on Friday the 13th, the Chinese government reported their first deficit in trade in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 or 8 years. 4.25 billion deficit for the first time in forever. That's kind of interesting, I thought, because they're usually a pro. They usually have growth on that. Interestingly, on the 13th of July 2012, which was a Friday, the Chinese gross domestic product growth dropped to the lowest rate it had been in 3 years. I don't know if there's anything to Friday the 13th or not, but it's a part of life that a lot of people factor in. Do you know that airline travel goes down about 14% on Friday the 13th? And that even 50% of the millennials don't travel by plane on Friday the 13th. Amazing how superstition can overcome education. Anyway, folks, we've got a great show lined up. We're going to have a lot of things that come on behind what we're doing today. We've got a good interview with Sheriff Dennis Meeks, and we've also got coverage of the Blue Ribbon event with some fine interviews up on the square today. Thank you for watching us all this week. Thank you for watching us every day. Please enjoy what we've got this weekend and enjoy your weekend as well. We hope you have a great one. And remember, if you're happy, it's usually up to you. We'll see you later.